Why, hello there. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. What can I do for you today? Oh. Oh, you're here to sign up for an adventure. Okay. Can I see your credentials real quick? Let's see. Okay. Papers seem to be in order. You are a C rank adventurer with a quest completion record of 0. This is your first quest? Okay. Well, you have the qualifications. You passed our exams. So I am totally willing to help set you up with a quest. What was the mission you were hoping to undertake today? Oh, no. So that mission is rated for B rank and above. I'm not sending a first-time C rank on a quest like that. Terribly sorry, but, you know, we do prefer our adventurers to survive. How about this one right here? It's slime season right now. I don't know if you were aware, but this is a pretty common issue. We're closing in on the first big harvest of the year. And one thing that almost always happens around this time is we get a very sudden influx of slimes. Now, these slimes aren't particularly dangerous to humans as a rule. They'll devour any biological matter they can get their hands on. But typically, you know, that means devouring livestock that isn't given the space to keep away, and devouring crops. So around this time of year, we usually see a big boom in slime populations, and those are usually concentrated around farms, okay? And so, the Adventurers Guild gets a lot of commissions to cull the slime population and keep the ecosystem in balance and, you know, protect the crops that keep us all fed. It's an important job, and it's a great way to kind of get your feet under you, you know? It sounds like pest control. What do you think adventuring is? It's a rare day when there's a demon king to bring down or a dragon threatening the nation. Most of the time, an adventurer is someone who interacts with the ecosystem and the world around us in unique ways to allow our society to thrive within and alongside it. That means that this time of year, when the slimes start to bloom, we make sure they don't eat our food and keep a healthy population elsewhere. It means that, you know, when herds of herbivorous draconids start their yearly migration, adventurers make sure that they part around our borders and don't cause issues, don't trample people. It means making sure that giant spiders don't become more of an issue than they already are. They're a highly invasive species that was introduced by an exotic pet dealer a long time ago, and, well, the forest in the north, coated in giant webs, kind of an issue, right? An adventurer does pest control and ecological management. Big quests with incredibly high stakes are usually saved for the highest ranking adventurers, and they are usually pretty rare. If you work at this long enough, then maybe someday you'll get the chance to do something like that, but for now, for your own safety, you'll have to get your start, okay? Alright. So, how does the slime quest sound to you? Okay. And do you have a party? You do. You have 2 friends who also recently got their qualification. Okay. Are there any more experienced adventurers in your party, or is this all of your first time? All right. Then if it's all the same to you, I would also like to assign a B rank adventurer to come with you to join your party on a temporary basis, just to make sure that everything stays safe. This isn't babying you. This is standard policy within our guild, okay? From a guild-wide perspective, the guild's job is, well, to protect the kingdom, to take care of those pest control jobs, and to occasionally handle those major threats. But it's also responsible for turning a profit. That's what a guild does, you know? It's an organization of workers who are all trying to make a living. And when it comes to the cut that the guild takes out of the adventuring work that we help you all sign up for, that cut goes towards paying, the people like me who manage the administrative tasks. It goes to continuing to afford to maintain this guild hall and potentially expand or improve it later. And to, allocate towards guild-supplied resources, tools, weapons. And because of that, the guild as a whole generally views newer adventurers like yourself as an investment. We have to keep you safe right now and let you familiarize yourself with the profession in a controlled way, so you can practice and learn and improve your skills, so that one day you can start taking on bigger and more dangerous jobs without us needing to worry quite so much. All right? I told you slimes aren't typically a threat to a person, but there's a reason that farmers don't handle the slimes themselves. A slime will struggle to get into a house, and they're not typically very fast, but a single ordinary arrow or sword or club is only going to do minimal damage to a slime. It requires magic or fire, a torch, something like that. And that often requires that you get closer to the slime than you would typically prefer. And at close range, a slime can still be very dangerous. They can lash out with tendrils filled with caustic substances that they use for digestion. A piece of advice I have for you from my adventuring days. Take every job seriously, even if it seems simple, even if you've done it a million times. Take it seriously, prepare thoroughly, and work smarter, not harder, okay? I can't tell you the number of times I've gone on an adventure just to deal with some minor pest. Maybe a group of dire wolves have been harassing the farmers, or heck, a slime cleaning mission. Do you know what I encountered on my 4th slime cleanup mission? An entire nest of encraves. Do you even know what those things do? Those are livestock devouring bugs. Definitely not something a C rank should be handling. But because I was prepared for a ton of contingencies, including running away, even after being attacked, I was able to escape with my party and form the guild, and a higher level response was able to be organized. That decision, those actions, were actually what led to my promotion to a B rank. All right, the terms of the adventuring contract are all sorted out, I think. I'll give you this to read over while I do a few more preparatory things, all right? What rank was I as an adventurer? Ooh, well, at the end of my career, I was in the upper A ranks. Let's see. Why'd I stop? Injury. There are certain things that, as much as you might wish it were otherwise, magic just can't heal. It's a shame, but it's the truth. And, well, I had quite the adventure towards the end of my career. There was a lich. Yeah. Proper adventuring. Big threat, right? Normally, a lich is the type of monster that you'd send an S rank after. They're intelligent, immortal, very hard to put down permanently, and very capable of pretty intense magic. Oh, what am I doing right now? Oh, making a healing potion for you. First-time adventurers, for their first 3 quests, are provided with complimentary minor healing potions, so I'm just brewing that up for you right now. Normally, for Lich, you'd send for an S rank. But But I think this is why the Lich chose to act then. The S ranks were all occupied dealing with Ithoa, the red dragon. Yeah. You remember that back in the day? It was big news. And I think the Lich knew that the S ranks had all been dispatched to deal with this incredibly powerful threat. And so he chose to raise his army of the dead while they were away. Dozens of parties of B ranks were dispatched to call the walking dead. But more just kept coming. And so, eventually, the guildmaster came to the decision to dispatch a party of A ranks, led by yours truly. I was the party's mage and alchemist. In the end, the rest of the party kept the Lich occupied long enough for me to prepare some alchemical explosives. I arrayed those explosives around the area discreetly, and then, well, right as I was about to detonate them, the Lich finally realized what I was up to. Could detect the ambient magical energy in the air, the explosive charge. And as I cast the spell to ignite the magical power, that powder that would destroy his relic once and for all and render him mortal, he cast a spell at me. I had to choose between defending myself or finishing the detonation spell, and I chose. Took a cursed bolt right to the leg. Healing magic did its best, but the Lich's curse is pretty intense, so in the end, well, it can take weight, and I'm definitely in less pain than I was back in the day, but going on long journeys outside the kingdom, getting into fights, not something that's very healthy for me anymore. So, I got back. I got promoted to S rank, and then retired the same day. I did say I finished my career at an upper A rank, because I think that's the truth. It was a nice gesture to offer me that promotion, but a real S rank would have just handled it. Don't get me wrong. I'm proud of what I was able to do. I'm proud to have protected this kingdom and its people, but I'm no S rank. And these days, I am quite happy to do the work that I do. All right, here's the first potion. And I should have a few bottles for your party members. There we are. Oh, it's fine, really. I'm disabled now, not dead. I still get to make plenty of potions. That was always the most enjoyable part of the whole process to me. And I still keep in touch with my old party. Our healer is a proper S rank now. I'm really proud of him. And, you know, I have my cane, and I do good work, and I make a lot of good friends. And I get the chance to watch the next generation of adventurers grow into who they're going to be. I'd say that's worthwhile. Now, let me show you these, all right? This is the other bit of complimentary kit, courtesy of yours truly. These aren't alchemical, they're enchanted. They're something I spent a long time researching and working on after the whole lich incident. Before I started working as a proper guildie again. I realized that that whole incident with the lich could have been avoided if we could have just recalled a single S-rank adventurer. So, after a long time and a lot of research, I figured out a cost-effective way to produce these magic rocks. To put it simply, if you ever need to, you can drop one of these on the ground, stomp on it, and it'll teleport you back here in about 2 seconds flat. Which means, if you ever realize a situation's unwinnable, or you're ever in too much danger and you need to retreat, these gems will let you do that. They keep you safe, all right? If I had one of these back in the Onkrov incident, I would have absolutely used one. They also allow for a limited amount of long-distance communication. From the guild, I can cast a special incantation, which is linked to an individual stone. If I say that incantation, the stone will warm up and begin to pulse. If that happens, that means I'm telling you to come home. I'm telling you to stomp on the stone right now. If that happens, in your case, that will usually mean that we've learned something new about the job that you're on, that maybe there's a new threat in the area that we didn't know about before. But you'll be expected to return immediately if that happens, all right, for your own safety. It also means that if something like the Lich incident ever happens again, I can contact one of the S ranks and bring them home to deal with it. Not bad, right? So, you take these 3 stones, and you give them to your party members, okay? You're gonna do great. I'm sure of it. Now, you all stay safe out there, okay? I look forward to working with you.